Yo, what's good, everybody? And thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sistas review. This episode is entitled Shaking in the Rain. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if that's what you choose to. If not, you know what I'm saying? Just listen. That's good too. That's fine too. So the show opens up with Andy and Gary, and they're having small talk about Robin staying at her place. And Gary feels Andy is using Robin to make him jealous, as well as Paris. I missed the entire Paris reference on the previous episode. I was just like, why did she pull that name out? But anyway, sometimes people just do dumb stuff when you're trying to make someone jealous. I don't even understand Andy's purpose in making Gary jealous because he's already a jealous and controlling person. So I'm not really understanding her in game plan for that. So Andy ends up calling El Fuego, who has like a startup tech company, because she wants him to do a sweep of her apartment. Andy tells El Fuego that he's full of surprises. You're just full of surprises. And his response was, you think I'm just a dumb dancer. Now, I found his response rather interesting because I'm not sure why it matters what Andy thinks of him. Like her perception of him, I would think he wouldn't give a damn. So I'm really not sure why that comment kind of, took him aback some. And then I was like, Andy, get off the phone, because it literally seems like Andy flirts or send these interesting, weird sexual energies to every man that's in her orbit. So next we see Karen and Aaron at the hospital. He asks her if she's nervous. She says that she's not. And it's interesting because their conversation kind of took a turn. They began to talk about their parents. And I believe that this was the second time that Aaron has brought up his mom. The first time he made reference to his mother was the episode when Karen came back from the girls' night, and he was telling her in a roundabout way that he loved her based on what his mom said about love, how you can smell it in the air. And so he gave a briefing of his parents, where he was raised and how he was raised, and he loved his parents. And Karen talks briefly about her parents, and it's obvious that there's some hurt and trauma regarding her father. And so she was just like, she don't have any space for like any sadness right now. And she'll talk about her dad more once the baby comes, because she has to be drunk to, I guess, to fully go into detail about her dynamic with her dad. So Andy and Hayden. And so this was one of the scenes that they show in the preview. So Hayden is telling Andy about Fatima being in jail. And I'm so glad that it was brought up from Andy's perspective regarding Hayden and Gary's timeline of knowing each other, because it still don't make sense. Now, it's still crazy because when Hayden visited Gary in jail, before we get to that, Andy told Hayden like she was the one that introduced them. And so he was like, he's known Gary for years. And I'm like, that just don't make sense because, and I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, when Hayden went to go visit Gary in jail, their interaction was that of two people just meeting each other. They didn't give off any vibe that there was a history there or that they had previous knowledge of each other. So I'm like, that don't feel right. And I'm like, didn't Gary feel threatened by Hayden working with Andy? He got all upset and mad. I can't remember everything that happened in the previous seasons, but I think he was, Gary's jealous. So he had an issue with Hayden working with Andy. And so I remember him telling Andy how he wanted his own lawyer. And it just don't make sense. It's almost like Tyler knew he effed up, tried to fix the F up, but the storyline is still effed up because it still don't make no damn sense. So that's just me. So we go back to Aaron and Karen, who are still at the hospital, and then we see the doctor comes in. And basically, they're just trying to find out, the date of conception, how far along she is, so on and so forth. And Aaron was kind of taking a lead approach in this situation. And so the way Karen was looking at him like, I'm going to need you to pipe down some, dude, because you're doing a little too much. But I understood. Like, he was happy. He just seemed very happy. And you could just tell that he wants the baby to be his so badly. And I understand because he was married for 15 years and he has no biological children. So I can understand his excitement and his urgency to find out, you know what I'm saying, to find out the truth. And so Karen was just like, she just hoped that they're not there all day. She got to go to work, so on and so forth. And Aaron, he just, I think because he just want to know so bad. I think sometimes he was putting his foot in his mouth. Like he didn't to calm down just a tad. Just a tad. But like I said, I do understand both sides of that. Wanted to know the truth, first and foremost. So I get that. So we see Danny and old boy. I'm going to call him old boy because I cannot remember his name. I want to call him Kenny, but I don't know if that's right. So I'm going to just call him old boy. And so I think this was the first time that we see Danny apologize so quickly to someone, especially a man. And the fact that she took the initiative to attempt to set up a date with him because she felt bad for standing him up. And so we see him returning these girls. I guess we're back to that storyline. We see him returning these girls. He talks about how, they had been trying to get these girls home for the past 3 years. So it was an emotional moment for him. And it appeared to me that Danny was much softer. Like they had their little banter back and forth. But it appeared she was much softer with him than I have seen her be with other men so soon. It was almost like Preston had to really put in the work to kind of get a more softer side of her. But with this guy, it seems like Danny is, I guess, compelled by the fact of what he's doing. It seems to have touched her in a different way. So even though I don't like dude like that, I guess I'm interested. I'm here for to see what happens with them. I don't know. I don't think he's a bad dude or nothing like that. I just think that the way he went about his first little interactions with Danny, I wasn't feeling him too much. So we get to Zach and Preston. I have a lot to say about this. But Zach and Preston have this conversation, and he tells Preston that being with Fatima is different because it's no drama and it's not toxic. I said, you must be talking about a whole nother woman because it has been nothing but drama and toxicity with Fatima and Zach. Now, don't get me wrong. I do know that I stand on another side of the whole Zatima situation. I am not a Zatima fan. I don't rock with them like that. That's just me. I just don't. But you know what I'm saying? They're still a part of the show. So I'm going to talk about it. So for me, I'm like, just look at the past couple of situations. We have Fatima, who is in jail right now. She has bashed up Hayden's car, destroyed his house, his father's remains. She has set up for Hayden to get beat up. And he got beat up pretty badly. And I'm like, there is no drama. You just had a conversation with this woman about her, just doing things too quickly. Like she just gung-ho, just do it, don't think, just she acts. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, y'all just had this conversation, but there's no drama in your relationship. It's been nothing but drama. As you were getting to know this woman, you had sex with your ex who's had this pregnancy scare that you can possibly be the father. So I'm trying to understand what the hell does Zach mean when he says there's no drama and it's not toxic with Fatima. Now, I do understand that love at times can cause us to overlook certain things. But I'm like, come on now, Zach. You know what I mean? You reaching. That is a far reach when you talk about no drama and no toxicity. I didn't even understand that. And I'm just looking at Preston because I'm like, you sitting up here taking love advice from Zach. Listen, he's the wrong person, boo. He's the wrong person to tell you about Danny. He's the wrong person to give you advice. He is so-called in love with a woman who he does not even know like that. I wouldn't be taking any advice from him. That's just me. I just wouldn't. And I want DeVal. I'm saying DeVal because it's not Zach. I love me some DeVal. And Kadeen. I love them. I'm so sick of DeVal saying bro. I'm like, if he say bro one more time, Jesus, I couldn't take it. He said bro like 8 times in like a minute and 30 seconds. That's DeVal all the way. I was like, please, let's stick to Zach. I don't want to see the Val in this. Please separate the two, sir. Please separate the two, sir. So Andy and Fatima. Andy goes to the jailhouse to visit Fatima. And I don't even have much to say about this scene. It was basically like, Andy is telling her, what's going on. Hayden definitely knows people in high places. And the judge is someone who is like on his side, who has like a no violence type of mindset or philosophy. And so it's going to be really hard. You know what I'm saying? And so Fatima was already planning another scheme to get at Hayden. And I'm like, at this point, y'all even, sis. I'm sorry. At this point, y'all even. And, so Andy was like, I don't even know who you are. And she was like, you know me, hush. I'm like, nah, she really don't know you. And Fatima was basically saying, like, on the street, this how they handle things. And I'm like, well, baby girl, you're not in the street. You're trying to become a lawyer. So you have to change the way that you maneuver and handle situations. Like you really, really do. I understand, like I said previously, I do understand that Hayden is a nuisance and Hayden is an asshole. But I'm like, the way you going about stuff, it's just, to me, it's just unbecoming. And that's just my opinion on it. But so they're, continually talking or whatnot. And she was just like, my dudes, they ride or die. And I'm just like, Tyler, please. Gangsta Fatima, for me, just for me as a viewer, is just not working anymore. I don't care. It's overkill. It's overkill at this point. Who gives a damn? Ain't nobody scared of her. And the fact it was the black eyes for me with Hayden. He was like, oh, she thought I was gonna be scared of her. I'm looking at him like, but she got you bad, bro. She got, in the words of the Val, she got you bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that scene was just, I'm like, you in the jailhouse talking about what you're going to do physically to this person or what you are going to attempt to do to him. So it was just dumb. That's just me. It was just dumb. So Sabrina and Maurice, let me just say that Maurice is funny as hell, but 90% of the time he just does too damn much. He just does too much. So he sees Sabrina and he asks her what penis did she have last night to have her smiling, as if a woman just can't smile because she's happy with life. We don't always need a penis or have to have sex in order for us to put a smile on our face. That is not the narrative. But I understood where he was going with that. I really did. So I am just so sick of Maurice always being in Sabrina and Calvin's business, because he asked Sabrina, are you going to talk to Calvin? He was pissed. I'm like, who cares? Who cares? Who cares that Calvin has a problem? Who cares that who cares? He just really Calvin. We'll get to that in a minute, but Calvin irks me. So we see this young guy comes in with these flowers and he talks about how he has a truckload of flowers for Sabrina. So she knows that Bayo was the one who sent them. So she goes to call him to tell him thank you. And I found it like, I was a little taken aback, because I was like, wow, it appears that Sabrina really likes him. Like, she enjoyed herself immensely. Like she stated, that was the best date that she's ever been on. And it just seemed, her interaction with him just seemed very different than her interaction with Calvin. It's the same way I look at Danny's interaction with Preston in comparison to her interaction with old boy. It was like this different vibe. And I was like, I'm here for it. Like I said, even though Bayo, we don't know everything about him yet, I do like seeing Sabrina in this like that. It's okay for you to like someone else, spend time with someone else. And that is the part that irks me about Calvin, because he walks around with this victim mentality as if everything is about him, or I'm hurt. I'm the one who does this. I'm the one who feels bad. I'm the one who was done wrong. And don't get me wrong, Sabrina did cancel the date with him. Like, she did do that. Like I said, she's not innocent at all. But it's like, he does what he does and he doesn't find anything wrong. Yet if Sabrina does the same thing towards him, it is blown out of proportion. He can't believe that she did such and such. And even when he caught her with Jacoby, He had just had sex with someone else the night before. So how dare you show up at her house and try to make her feel bad for enjoying her single life? That's how I look at Calvin. Like I said, he's never been my favorite character at all. I just don't like the double standard thing in that way. So we get to Aaron and Karen again at the hospital, and the doctor comes in. They had been waiting for her to return, as I think we all were. Waiting for her to return, and so as the doctor begins to speak, she asks Aaron to step out. And so the doctor basically Karen asks like the steps of how a woman becomes pregnant and how long it takes. So based on my math, what the doctor was telling her was that she was surprised that the home test picked up the pregnancy so quickly because she's not that far along. She's only I think the doctor said 4 weeks. And so I have a friend, and she has 2 children, and I always tell her that she has a bionic body because my friend knew she knew the moment she was pregnant. And she knew. And it was so funny because she went to the hospital to get a pregnancy test, and her numbers were so low that the pregnancy test could not pick it up. It could not detect a pregnancy. But she was like, I know I'm pregnant. Alicia, I'm pregnant. I know I am. I'm pregnant. Like, she knows her body. She is so sensitive to her body. So that's what it made me think about, the fact that this test was able to pick up Karen's pregnancy. So we can stop all the is she, ain't she, Karen ain't pregnant, she making it up, she want him, she pregnant. Now, what Tyler does with this is the question. That's the next question. What is he going to do? Is he going to allow her to go full term? Is he going to speed up the time on the show? Is he going to have her, experience a miscarriage? I just don't know what he's going to do with that. And it also appears that Aaron is the father of this child. Then again, like I've stated, she had sex with Zach and Aaron only days apart. So to me, her finding out, we still don't know who the daddy is. We can make an assessment, but it's like when you slept with 2 different people that close in proximity, and that close in time, do we really know who the father is? I don't know. I just feel like Tyler has a twist up his sleeve when it comes to this. I just really, really don't know. You know what I'm saying? I really don't know. I really want Aaron to be the father because he just seems so happy, and he's just been so attentive and caring and there for her. And Zach just don't give a damn. Zach is all about Fatima. He's all about this house and doing the things that he wants to do, which I can't blame him. But at the same time, if someone approach you and he believes that the child is his, but you haven't shown any type of concern for this woman who's pregnant. So the way it's been going, I just think it would be a disservice to have Zach be the father of this child. That's just my personal opinion on that. So it ended with that. It was like Karen had a revelation of some sort, and it looked like she was angry. And that was the show. That's really how it went off. I don't know. This episode was what it was. I think I'll get excited. Like when we have long breaks on the show, I get excited when it's coming back because I have the opportunity to interact with people who specifically watch Sistas and reach out to me and comment about the show. But it's like overall, like I remember when I used to be so excited for Wednesdays to come around because I could not wait to watch Sistas. And now I literally almost forgot the show was coming on tonight. I got an alert on my phone, and that was the only reason why, because a girl is tired. So I was going to go to bed. But I'm like, oh, yeah, it's Wednesday. Sistas. Okay, yeah, cool. But it's just like, I don't know. And I don't know what Tyler can do to make it better. There are some people who don't find anything wrong with it, or I get the thing of, it's a soap opera. And I get that. I understand how soap operas are written. I understand how the timeline in soap operas are, but the storylines are not good. Oh, speaking of not good, I forgot to mention his no good ass, Q. This is what I'm saying. Tyler got to make this make sense. How the hell? First of all, Q's thieving ass shows up to the bank. How you show up to the place that you attempted to rob? Like it was nothing. Walked in there with these flowers, said he got Maurice some flowers. We all knew them flowers came from Bio. I said, oh my God, I can't. I can't. I can't. I do not like Q. I do not like the character of Q. He's another one like Calvin. Like he has this victim mentality when he's victimized so many people, yet he walks around like the world owes him something. He's owed something. He's due something. Well, I'll be on your porch. No, go somewhere. And Sabrina was like, I don't like that. And and Maurice was like, I don't like it either. Calvin is the one who invited him. I understand that, but you have a mouth too. Regardless of what Calvin has done, this is a man who had a gun to your head, not Calvin. Q needs to go. So I guess we're going to get to the place where we're going to find out what is it about Q that has Maurice in this chokehold, because obviously you tell him to leave, you tell him to get out, you don't mean it, because he continually to let him come back for whatever the reason is, and that reason I don't understand. I really don't. But that was Sistas, shaking in the rain. And I'll come back. I'm going to try to do like some small videos that leads into next week. So I have a couple ideas that I have, and I'm always open for suggestions as well. But until then, y'all be safe out there, and I will holler at you later. One.